and we are getting some pretty good circulation on the ground, as you can see. And we'll stay right here. It looks as though we're getting into a more populated area. Those of you, and I believe this is going to be, I don't know what it is as it extends further westbound, but if you were on K10, cross 59 highway and continued west, that is where you would, those who live along that area is where you need to be on, well, taking shelter right now. We are seeing circulation on the ground. We are seeing some debris. It is now in a populated area.
Absolutely.
And I think, okay, Kenny, there you go. Keep that shot there.
That is debris. That is a roof that just got thrown up in the air. There goes another
one that goes.
Once you follow that, again, Johnny's some 5 miles away, but this is a tornado that is on the ground.
West side of Lawrence, and it looks like it's just now getting ready to cross over that extension of K10. I'm not sure if that is K10, but if you were going to continue 59 highway, across 59 highway westbound on K10, that is where you would be. And again, it is in a residential area now.
All right, so the folks in Lawrence, Kansas who've been watching our continuous coverage, if you're a parent who's worried about a sibling who's down there.
I don't know if you saw that. We just saw some power line arcing there.
Snapped, yeah.
So even though we're not seeing the tornado on the ground, there is still
seeing the evidence.
Yeah, we are still seeing some rotation there, circulation on the ground. So I'm going to turn back around here, and we might do a little white balance routine here as well.
White balancing means to try to get the color just right, because now he's fighting the sun with the, there you go. That's a little darker. It shows a little better. Thank you for the contrast.
Okay, we're going to come back around this way and going on the fly here, folks. So Kenny, nice job. Let's go ahead and zoom back in underneath that and see if we've still got that rotation. One thing that this is so perfectly backlit at this point that we can see very well what's going on right underneath that funnel cloud, and we're going to have to make a right turn here. You're going to see the back of us again, but we're getting into some turbulence and maybe a little bit closer than we're going to be comfortable with here. So yes, we did see some certainly some damage here on the west side of Lawrence, and let me get it back around and out of the way, and we'll keep an eye on this one for you.
Okay, you stay there, get back to where you're a little more comfortable, and let me talk it and take it from here. Again, now this cell that you just saw, west side of Lawrence, Kansas, as Johnny was talking about, pinpoint 9 Doppler radar is still having a tough time seeing it, but that's part of the problem why we have to use not only the radar but also human beings, and the combination is what gets the job done. It would be right about here, and right now what's happening in the First Alert Weather Center, they're on the phones with some of the spotters, which is why necessarily this is not being zoomed in. But Douglas County is now under that tornado warning. As you saw, there was a touchdown, and it was in a populous area. So if you are in the Lawrence County, or Lawrence, the city of Lawrence, please take cover. It would be pretty much right back here with the notch that Johnny was referring to. You saw when they were passing over, it pretty much came very close to the car as well as it was crossing over there. K10, it looked like it was double lanes, and I think that's where it was. Really difficult to say from an aerial vantage point, so we really have to rely on Johnny for his location. There's that couplet that we're looking at on the western and southwestern corner of Lawrence. If you're in the city of Lawrence, please take cover. This is a tornado warning, one that's on the ground, which means you should seek shelter immediately. To review, if you're in a dormitory that has many floors, try to get to the lowest level possible. If you do not have a lower level, go to the lowest floor possible and put as many walls between you and the outside. If you are in a home with a basement, you want to get down to the basement under the stairwell, protecting your head facing the wall from the flying debris, which seems to be evident from this particular storm, and wait for the all clear. Now, although this warning was supposed to expire, it appears that it's going to have to be extended for Douglas County. And this is only one of about 3 or 4 cells that we're looking at. As we said tonight, it was going to be a rough night, and it looks like it's really getting going right about now. 2 other areas on 3D Viper, because I don't want to ignore the folks down toward Anderson County, which still look very impressive. And, of course, you continue to see the First Alert computer giving us the updates of the latest information and the latest warnings coming in, which is why the beeps are going on and the crawls are handling that. Here you go, though. Anderson County on the Kansas side. Impressive cell that's still holding together. Last report near Iola. I would say if you live in either Bourbon County or Lynn County, this cell is heading toward you. Right here in the heart of the city, Leavenworth County, you're probably next in line. Southern parts of Leavenworth County with that particular cell. Also western parts of Wyandotte County, possibly near Bonner Springs, if the cell holds together. The tornado is now about 1 mile west of Lawrence, moving to the northeast at 45 miles per hour, as you see on the bottom of your screen. I'm repeating that for those who are visually impaired, because we have a large contingency of that in the audience. For you who are near Lawrence, Kansas, take cover immediately. This is a tornado on the ground. If we can go back to News Chopper 9 to see the latest on its position and where it is. It appears, again, not too long ago, 1 mile west of Lawrence and moving into a more populous area, the northern parts now of Douglas County, under that warning. Do we have Johnny? Is he back at where he should be?
Brian, right now we're in search of some damage over here in Lawrence.
Okay.
K10, apparently the continuation west of 59 Highway would be 40 Highway.
Right.
Oh, here we go. Kenny, it's right down in front of you here. All right, it looks like it hit some apartment complexes here. There's also a bypass that comes from the south side of the city up towards 40 Highway. So the first pictures of where this tornado touched down on the west end of Lawrence, it looks like an apartment complex. And pull back a little bit, Kenny, and I think that you're going to see, okay, now tilt up a little bit too. It did, looks like it motored on a little bit to the north of here. People just emerging from these apartment houses, and boy, well, there's somebody who's climbing down a balcony over here as well. Don't see any fires, and we don't know any, certainly can't tell if there's been any injuries here. We'll continue. Kenny, go ahead and pull back, and let's pan a little bit to the left. We're going to continue following this, the path of the storm, and we're moving like crazy here. Just for a second, stand by, and we will, it looks like it crossed over here, and of course, it's a lot easier for me than it is for Kenny to follow this. We're going to make a turn here. Looks like it completely blew out a house, or the back of a house, here on the other side of 40 Highway.
There it appears like the debris skipped right there over the highway.
Yeah, it sure did. And we don't even have emergency personnel here. It's going to be across the highway here, Kenny, over here, where the front of a house is damaged. That might be a duplex. Of course, a lot of apartments here in Lawrence for the students. There's a car in somebody's front yard on its side, and we'll continue to go. Kenny, let's pull back and follow the damage path here. Pull way back here so we can see and continue to follow. We're headed southbound now, from north to south. There are cars in the front yards here. Tilt down a little bit, and as you pass that now, a little to the left, and you're going to pick it up a little to the left. There you go, and you can see some cars in driveways and such over here. I'll go ahead and stop it here, Kenny, and see if you can zoom in on that. These appear to be single-family dwellings, duplexes, and some apartments over here. Again, we're looking at the west side of Lawrence, and go ahead and pull back here and pan to the left, and you'll be able to see the path of the tornado through this area here. Actually, we're just a little bit to the east of the reservoir, and this is where we get the heaviest damage, as you will see in a moment, to an apartment complex. There are people milling around in the parking lot. Again, this I don't want to say was unexpected, but the tornado had not been on the ground for a while, and then we saw it reform here on the west side of Lawrence. And we'll just let the pictures tell the story here for a little bit, if you want to pick it up.
Hey, Johnny, just so that we know that we're also talking about where the storm is going now, out your windshield, does it look like it's back on the ground, or where is it now, sir?
I'll tell you what, we've hopefully you all have pictures of this, and we will go ahead and turn back northbound and see if we can catch up with it on the north side of Lawrence. In fact, we'll follow this path here and see if, in fact, we see any other damage. And it had skipped back up into the clouds. We weren't seeing any rotation, and that's why we elected to come here and check the damage. But as you can see, as we turn northbound with the inflow still to this thunderstorm, right, we can get up to it here in a hurry. Boy, it looks like it's just falling apart from here, Brian. So okay, I don't know. We'll be on top of it. We'll be right back up.
It looks like it is heading toward Lacine. So then you're probably right now getting the loud part of the storm. But let me emphasize, when it's raining its heaviest, that's not the most dangerous part of the storm. It is almost physically impossible to have rain and a tornado at the same time. It's a totally different structure. So although right now the leading edge of the heaviest rain and possibly the hail is heading toward you, it'll be the quiet after the storm in this case. And in this case, the quiet before the next storm, which is possibly the tornado. Circulation still showing up between Mildred and pretty much county line, heading up toward Lynn County. This is the cell that has been the most impressive, has produced the tornado warnings earlier in the evening, continuing to move to the northeast at about 45 or 50 miles an hour. If you're in Lacine, go to your safe area in the basement, lowest part possible, and definitely keep an eye to the sky because this thing is holding together and moving off to the northeast. Joan was about 3 blocks away as we shift gears and talk more about the damage you saw about 40 minutes ago in Lawrence. Joan, can you hear me?
Yes.
I hope you and yours were safe.
We are, yes.
Okay. Recount what was going through when you were first in face-to-face with this particular storm?
It first started to, there was a light rain, and then it started to get sunny, and then all of a sudden my husband was standing outside and he heard the wind coming towards us, and we're probably 3 or 4 blocks east, or we're probably north of Clinton Parkway, and where the debris was strewn across the street.
Okay.
That is Clinton Parkway and Wakarusa, almost at the corner of, there's a Montessori school. It's called Rain Tree Montessori School, and that is where the debris is across Clinton Parkway.
Okay, and as far as other areas, do you know maybe some of the other neighborhoods that were affected by this?
I believe the neighborhoods that you were showing earlier and that you're currently showing are both east and west of Clinton Parkway, right at the end of Wakarusa.
Okay.
At the point at Clinton Parkway and Wakarusa.
Was there any hail before the tornado popped out, or was it just pretty much light rain to sunshine to tornado?
It was just light rain, a little bit of sunshine, and then it started raining just a little bit, and then it just came right through. And
do you see any injuries or emergency crews heading toward that direction, Joan?
We haven't heard anything at all in the last probably 20 minutes.
Okay. Appreciate your taking time out, and make sure you stay safe. Thank you very much, Joan Noller, for joining us. Still coming in. You heard from Kate as well as Joan on the phone. Live pictures from News Chopper 9. I throw you to Johnny Rollins.
All right, thanks, Brian. Again, I don't know all the neighborhoods here in Lawrence, but we're on the far southwest part of Lawrence. The farthest north damage we have seen from the storm, the roof off of a house here in what appears to be a pretty exclusive neighborhood just to the north of 40 Highway. And just about, I'll put it a couple of miles, maybe 2.5 or 3 miles to the west of 59 Highway. Already a ton of sightseers out here, as a matter of fact. We'll continue to pan left and take you down across the highway. See a lot of debris on the highway, and it is on the other side, the south side of the highway, where we had the heaviest damage. You can see the debris there. We do have police officers on the scene. We think we have some power lines down here as well. We saw a lot of arcing. In this neighborhood, too, we'll zoom in. You can see there is an ambulance, so apparently we have an injury or multiple injuries in this, what appears to be complex of duplexes. And we talked earlier, of course, here in Lawrence with the students and the wintertime or school year population, a lot of duplexes, a lot of apartment complexes. So that is the damage just to the south of 40 Highway. An ambulance on the scene. You saw the car in somebody's front yard. We're seeing a lot of lawn furniture tossed around as well. As we continue tracking a little bit south, from right to left is going to be south. You can see where the tornado did a little bit of a hop, skip, and a jump, kind of meandered back around over a creek. And let's see, Kenny, I'm not sure. You need to tilt down a little bit, and you're going to, there you go. You found some other damage here to what appears to be single-family dwellings. And as we continue on to the south, of course, more debris, more cars, a lot of debris strewn north of the highway as well, but not much damage there. And it is, of course, where it appears as though the tornado first touched down. As we described it a while ago, we believe this is where we saw the roof of one of these apartment complexes completely removed. Now, we do see fire equipment down there, a lot of people in the parking lot, but we're not seeing any ambulances around this location. So the only ambulance we saw was what we showed you in that cul-de-sac a little while ago. And at this point, it appears as though just emergency personnel. Of course, still a lot of evaluation and still a lot of searching to be sure that someone isn't trapped in one of these. After we shot this, you asked me to go fly up and check out and see if it was tracking on to the north.
Right.
And amazingly, that storm just about evaporated. In fact, we flew north and tried to find it, and I got a word from the news desk there that you all had discovered that it pretty much just fell totally apart. So within a matter of minutes, it went from being tornadic to not being there at all.
Appreciate your work. Thank you, Johnny Rollins, News Chopper 9. And again, in case you're just now joining us, tornado that you saw from the damage report, not nearly as wide as what moved through KCK on Sunday. Probably not going to be anywhere near that F4 damage that we had. But nonetheless, as Johnny said, not to minimize it, there was a tornado that did go through the heart, or at least the western half of Lawrence, Kansas, and there was a warning out in plenty of time for Douglas County because it actually emanated from a cell that was near Osage City on the ground there, and we tracked it pretty much into Douglas County and then farther to the east. But as he mentioned, that storm pretty much gobbled up, and if anything, the energy is now being transferred and translated down to this cell, down toward Anderson County.